Hey everyone, how's it going? Octopus here and welcome back to evercrisis. So we're going to be talking about Cloud's new banner that just came out. It's a featured banner, meaning that you can wishlist this weapon. It's not going to disappear like the other limited banners we've been getting. So it's a nice, fresher breath air that we don't have to worry about this one. But that being said, year-and-a-half anniversary coming out. Other characters that are currently out right now are a lot more appealing than what Cloud has to offer. Not saying that this weapon and costume is bad, but definitely is on the lower priority list, pretty low, that I think majority of people are going to be skipping this one, but wish listing the weapon later because it is going to be used for a really good setup. Now, Red 13 also comes into this banner, and his weapon is actually really good and really good for the current guild battle that's going on right now. So anyone who's competitive most likely will be pulling towards that Red 13 weapon to help out in the current guild battle, because Red 13 is also one of the characters you will be using. But I just want to say, if Cloud's a husbando, do what you want. Don't let anyone else say anything. For everyone else talking about meta and should you be doing this, this is one of those banners you can safely skip. Sorry about that, I'm updating my laptop. So let's jump in. Let's talk about this Cloud costume, the Cloud weapon. Does Cloud look good? That's up to you guys. I don't like this at all. I think this looks terrible. The costume, the jacket, it just doesn't fit Cloud in my opinion. Not that it's not a bad looking jacket or anything like that, but I think the overall look of it isn't one of my favorites. The blade is cool though. I really like the blade. That looks awesome. Everything else could have been definitely different. Even especially if they just took these away and gave him normal pants or any kind of like armor looking pants that's not poop brown, it would be good. But yeah, that's up for you guys. What does it do? It's the Mystic Coat. It's like Vincent's last banner that I skipped as well. And I was going to pull every single Vincent costume, but there wasn't anything too appealing to it. It has magic and defense, physical defense, 15%. And then it's got your buff and debuff, 60% extension, which is standalone. It's pretty much like a Mastery Arcanum for this. I think more of an Arcanum. So it is a very supportive Cloud, which Cloud isn't really known to be supportive. He's got a couple of weapons that he could technically use with this, but it's not going to really make him shine in this category. It's good to have other characters do other things besides just DPS, but on the priority list, not really. So it's one of those you could skip costumes, but it could come in handy for one or two quests somewhere down the line. They'll force it down our throats somewhere, right? Besides that, it's not like a really big overall improvement for your account. Mystic Sword on the other hand, it's a magic, non-elemental crit weapon, but the thing that it does is mid and mid, magic, and physical attack. In order to get the physical attack mid, you have to have 70% or more HP, and sometimes that is hard to pull off if your healer isn't keeping the health up at the right time that you need to debuff, right? So 70% on this is kind of wild. But at OB6, it is high cast on both of them. And every other weapon in the game that does both physical and magic attack down is AoE, and it goes from mid to high. So you have to double cast it to get this, but it's AoE. So that's why those weapons go mid to high, where this is single target. So it's going to go one cast for 3 ATB only, high magic attack down and physical attack down high. Really, really good. There is going to be tons of moments where Cloud can use this, even if he is the main DPS. If you have to squeeze that in because your support DPS or your healer, they don't have the magic attack down or physical attack down, or they can't afford it in that current fight, this is going to make a really big difference because our abilities are actually fantastic. So we got 54, 27 for boost attack and boost ability potency. So this could be used for magic or physical Cloud. But because it has this and not supportive stuff, you can use this on his main builds. At OB10, it's 6239. Really good with Circle Sigil. So it's a 3 ATB double debuff that brings good R abilities. So your damage dealing Cloud is still live. And because of these C ability that it currently has, it's being used on a supported version of Cloud as well. So I do think it's a fantastic weapon. It's just not go out of your way to get weapon, right? If you pull this up in the wish list or while you're pulling randomly, I wouldn't be like, oh man, I got this. I'd be like, oh cool, that's a good sword. I can use that. Even one copy of this weapon, right? It's at mid to mid on both of those for 3 ATB. Makes a pretty big difference, especially if you're new to the game. So that being said, Cloud is up to you guys. That is definitely a husbando kind of pull right now, because it is not necessary in the game at the moment to really have this in your setup to pass content. So that being said, moving on to the wish list, you guys can do whatever you want here. Current guild battle, highly recommend if you're not using Cloud, use them, right? He's got 520 magic wind damage with 1.2. Even like 1, 2, or 3 copies of this weapon, you'll be doing a lot of damage with him. Probably 100%ing stage 1, 2, and possibly 3 as well, with him and maybe another DPS. Very good weapon, but to support his other stuff where it's the buff debuff costume, right? You could technically go Band-Aid Sword here, which has magic defense increase high all allies, so he'll lower the attack of the enemies and raise defense while boosting some buff debuff duration, ice damage, right? Another really good one, I guess if you want to heal and debuff with Cloud, you could do that, because Cloud does have an AoE heal at 71%. That's a possibility, but you can see where the buff and debuff doesn't really matter too much. You've got Hard Edge, which gives physical defense is decreased to high, so he'll benefit from the buff and debuff there, right? There's another weapon that's AoE, but it's physical attack mid all allies, and that's all enemies. Physical attack is decreased, and yeah, that's pretty much it. He's got 1, 2, 3, but this one got replaced by the new one, so he technically has 1, 2, 3 that will really benefit from this current costume. Besides that, the weapon can be used for any build. Murasami Cloud, any cloud that's magic or physical damage. You can use this on a sub weapon and have that just in case I have to lower the enemy's attack. Most of the time though, you want your DPS to just be pure DPSing and not stopping. So if he is your main DPS, you most likely would want someone else to do this. So it's an interesting sword, interesting costume, but that's my 2 cents on it. That it is a good weapon, it's just not on the right character, but at least it is another choice for that character, which is always good. So moving on to Red 13's weapon, which is really, really good, especially for this current guild battle. This thing is incredibly great. Now, I'm going to tell you what it does, but picture in your head that multiple characters have to do multiple things during every turn, right? When they have ATB. There's only 6 weapon slots in an entire party. It doesn't matter what characters you use, it depends on their weapons, right? Limit breaks aside. So every character can hold 2 weapons, and the more those weapons do, the more abilities you have, right? Well, Red 13's weapon here, what it ends up doing is magic attack is increased low to mid all allies just for having 1 copy, and then wind damage is increased low to mid all allies for 4 ATB. At first glance, it's like, okay, you need this weapon at OB6. So we're gonna move to OB6. Magic attack is mid to high, and then wind damage is mid to high. So just 1 cast, you get double buffs. Not 3 tiers, but you get 2 tiers of magic attack and 2 tiers wind, which is really good. And then you cast it again for magic attack up and wind damage up everyone on the team. So it's a really good weapon when you go back to what I said, that characters have 2 slots each for an ability. And if you think about something like your other character is going to boost magic attack, right? They're going to waste 4 ATB, and then another character has to raise wind damage. They're going to waste 4 ATB. In total, you spent 8 ATB that turn, where Red 13 is going to cast 8 ATB and do both of them, but he only took up 1 weapon slot versus, let's just say, Aerith with her new magic attack all weapon. She'll have to cast that, and then another character casts his wind, right? That's 2 weapon slots. Do be it that Aerith's weapon does have magic attack up and magic defense down on the enemy, so you still would want to use that weapon, but it extends each other, so it works out still. But the idea is that this one weapon can do it all in 1 weapon slot, so now you have more options for other weapons to survive, to buff, to heal. So weapons that combine this, even though it's mid to high, that 8 ATB would have been used anyways separately, just now 1 character has to wait for it to charge 8 ATB. That's the only difference. So when you think about it like that, really, really good. And this is not all this weapon does. It has 46, 39 healing with an all cure slot. So Red 13 can buff the team, and Red 13, buff the team and also heal the team at the same time with this one weapon. leaving all his other slots open. So I think it's a very, 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 very good weapon, especially on a win team. Even though you have to cast 2 times, like I said, other characters also do magic attack, so you're just refreshing each other. You're constantly keeping that magic attack buff on there. Now, for wish listing for Red 13, you're looking at anything you want. Dude, Red 13 is so good. Silver Collar could be another benefit here, because Silver Collar does wind resist down, right? And you have an all cure here, which is not really necessary, but you can put either one in the main hand or offhand and still benefit from all cure. So whatever ones you need. You need more buff and debuffing, which yes is the answer, because that way your buffs last longer on the new weapon. So you would put like Silver Collar in the main hand and you still get heal and all that. So this is a really good one to have on there, especially at OB10. That's 6226, right? So wind resist down, and then water's on there, but you're using for the wind setup. You've got weapons. You got whatever you want, honestly. You could do that one where it raises magic attack and wind. And also if you have this at OB10, you're doing 500% magic wind damage to all enemies, while also magic defense is decrease all enemies. So not only is he double buffing, he's also doing this to high. Right, so really, really good while doing damage. Good R ability, 6239 Circle Sigil, 674 magic. So I would think those are the 2 best weapons to put on him. Everything else is like, he's a debuffer, buffer. He's basically everything you need for almost all the hard content. He supports the entire team. Very good character. So that's my 2 definitely top of the line weapons to consider when you're thinking about this new win weapon. And then anything else you want for there. You have magic defense up. You've got so much other perils and perils. So Red 13 is just go through his kit and explore him. He's fantastic. But for that current win setup, that's definitely my idea there. That's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about Cloud and Red 13. We're probably all skipping this because limited banners have been just really mainlined right now. And we want to save up for the right ones where the feature banners are usually not as nice and don't make that big of an impact compared to them. So sadly, it's how they're creating the game right now, and it's pushing us to be like, oh, feature banner, not good because it's not limited banner. I hate that mentality. I hope they fix it. Let me know what you guys think. Are you skipping this Cloud or Red 13? Or are you going to save it for anniversary and Vincent in April? I'm looking forward to that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Keep on smiling. I'll smell you later.